Welcome back to the channel. For new people, well, you already know, subscribe and like the video, more so this can get around and other people can see it. But with that being said, Bytech 2-in-1 Stylus. Now you may think to yourself, why is this man reviewing this product? But it's a very important reason, and we're gonna get right into that right after the drop. All right, guys, without further ado, this is going to be a super long video. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is do some simple tests. We're going to cut this bad boy open. Remember, this doubles down as a stylus. And the reason I purchased this particular device is because I have an iPhone 13 under Metro by T-Mobile. And for whatever reason, they decided to make an Apple Pen only work for iPads and not work for the phone at all. So your $1,300, $800, whatever version of the phone that you have, the product doesn't even work for it. So does it make sense? Absolutely not. It's the most idiotic thing to possibly do to not give support to a popular product. Listen, companies are like that sometimes. So that's not working. All right, so this works. Let's see if this one works. It's not working. All right, this is what I wanted to check. So this side actually is a double-ended stylus. Now the thing about this is this works for PCs and other products. Of course, unfortunately, you are going to have to figure out what it works because it is touch sensitivity. And it says it on the case and it says it on the stylus itself. Device, it may scratch or damage it. It does say for you not to use this side for the device. This side on the other side, which is like the soft eraser, works perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and go to Sketchbook. And as you can see, let me see if this finally loads up. There we are. It does work, and it's actually pretty responsive. It's a slight delay. Of course, for those that are actually like real artists, you might have issue using something like this because it's not as touch accurate as, let's say, let's do a new sketch. Discard it. Okay, here we go. Now, again, when you're using a stylus, obviously they sell pens and pencils and things like that. So as you can see, I can't even really draw what it is that I want with this particular stylus because of the back end. It's not very touch responsive at all. It's not good for that end. And I was hoping that this side could register, but it looks like it does not. To be honest, I'm not even sure what this side is at this point because it says, you know, you're not supposed to use it because, again, rubbing this across a screen without a tempered glass is going to damage your phone. It's that simple. If I do it a little bit harder, it's just not working. Honestly, I have no idea why they even have this side. This is more so a pressure tool that you could probably use with one of those drawing pads. Now, I do have a drawing pad at home, and I have 2 packs of these. They're only $3 a piece. It worked with the pad that you plug up through USB to a PC or to a tablet. It did work with that. So this tip does work for that. But if you're using it for a regular touchscreen, unfortunately, it does not work. What I'm going to do is go away and cut away. If I actually have an iPhone 13, I'm going to test it on that, and then I'm going to come right back to this video. All right, so unfortunately, this pen, granted, this side, like I said, works as a stylus just fine. They're both, it's a 2-in-1 stylus. This side works perfectly fine when using it for devices like regular tablets, regular touchscreen devices if you don't want to use your hand, simple things like that. This end is normally used for, the only thing that it worked for so far for me was the actual touchpad that I had that you use to do artwork with. Now, granted, that's a very vague description, and I understand that because most touchpads have their own little nib pieces and removable pieces that you can use. Remember, this is super sharp, and even the touchpads tend to be a little bit thicker than this. But because mine is fairly expensive, and I've also tried like one of the $49 ones that I bought off of Amazon, it worked just fine. I was able to draw. The writing was super precise. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use it on this, which is super disappointing. It did not work on the iPhone 13 either, though this side did. The big, thick side where it's plushy. In truth, I wish they just made this a harder tip and skinnier, but still hard so that you're able to actually accurately get the pen presses that you actually want to get. Unfortunately, this will work if you're swiping regular. It's perfectly fine. If you're doing anything that requires a type of shading, for instance, like sometimes when I will use a different pen, obviously, but whenever I used to draw eyebrows, I do artwork. I'm not able to do anything on this particular device because it's just too difficult. It's not, the touch isn't accurate enough for that pen. It's just not possible. So with that being said, if you see this in a store and you're one of those people where you're like, you know what, I want to use this for a stylus for my iPad or for my iPhone or something like that, it's a high probability that it's just not going to work for you. It didn't work for my iPhone 13. Maybe you could do some tweaks and it will work, raise up some sensitivity levels, things like that. I'm not willing to change my complete touch of my phone just for a $3 pen to work. It just doesn't make any sense. Hopefully someday Apple will give support to their actual Apple Pen, to their actual, or make a smaller version that you can actually carry and support an iPhone, but it's Apple. I don't ever see that happening. They're not a consumer-based company. They don't care about people. And on the other hand, for this particular one, this is a cool product, but I have to be honest with you. Like it shows here, the soft rubber part is used for the screen. The hard part is for kiosks and ATMs. So in reality, when they say kiosks and ATMs, they're not talking about touchscreen kiosks or touchscreen ATMs. They're talking about physical buttons, the ATMs that have the physical hard buttons, which to be honest, I guess that's every ATM in the world if you don't want to touch it. Kiosks, other things like that. That's what it works for. The fact that it worked for my actual art pad is probably just a coincidence. It's not meant for that at all. So if by any chance you happen to lose your art pen and you know those things are expensive, when you're hooked it up to a computer and you're drawing on your pad, try this. It could work for you. It's $3. The worst thing that happens is it doesn't work and you take it back or you just toss it to the side. That's the worst case scenario. But again, that's up to you guys to decide. So this is a super short video. Just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what does and what doesn't work. Unfortunately, this isn't working with it.